The Nigerian Labour Congress has given the Nigerian government a 7-day ultimatum to make the Naira available to the public. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday released a statement revealing that old Naira notes will be returned to circulation. But 2 days after the announcement, those currencies are still barely available. But the Central Bank of Nigeria haven't withdrawn the old Naira notes and reportedly destroyed them. What's the cost of having new notes? And can the Central Bank of Nigeria meet the Nigerian Labour Congress's demands in 7 days? Nigerians are waiting fervently for solutions as the cash crunch in the country becomes more contentious. Now, joining me to discuss this, I have Madam Agnes Sessi, the Nigerian Labour Congress chairperson, Lagos State Chapter. A warm welcome to you, Madam Agnes, and thanks for joining us on PHQ.
Thank you so much. And I also want to say good evening to all the viewers at home.
Good evening to you, madam, and we're happy to have you. Now, how has the recent cash scarcity affected workers and ordinary Nigerians, and what kind of support or assistance can they expect from the government to alleviate their hardships? What do you recommend the government does at this point in time?
Well, I couldn't hear your question very well. If you can just come up again so that I can understand the question well.
Yes, I said, how has this cash scarcity affected Nigerian workers, ordinary Nigerians and business people? And what kind of support or assistance can the Nigerian government provide to alleviate their hardships and sufferings? What do you recommend the Nigerian government does at this moment to make life easier for them?
Okay, thank you so much. You can see that this cash crunch has affected all the fabric of the society. All Nigerians, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of your social affiliation, everyone, irrespective of your support, it has affected us seriously. And this is the first time since I've grown up that I will see this kind of a chaotic situation happening in this country. The government has not done so well in this stance to make Nigerians to pass through this kind of hardship. This has, unleashed an untold hardship, severe economic hardship onto Nigeria. The cash crunch has already affected many businesses. It has already affected many homes, many families. In fact, it has affected the emotional stability, the psyche of Nigerians. Let me tell us sincerely, honestly, if not because Nigeria will try to kind of, get a little patience, this situation will have caused for a situation where people will revolt seriously against the government. But this is happening at a time when we also try to exercise some restraint. It is happening when we are changing a government. And this same government that is ending their, tenure are the ones that are, unleashing this untold hardship onto Nigeria. So for once, Nigeria decided that, okay, don't let us change this government with violence. Let us try a little bit to absorb the stress and the hardship so that once and for all, let us use our PVC, our card, to change this government who has already created and has put us into this hardship. That is what informed the resilience. If not, it did not happen during the period when we are changing the government, when we are, going into electoral. We did not want to disrupt the whole electoral processes. And with Nigerian Labour Congress will have provide leadership, will have provide the solution for Nigeria. But at this particular period, we did not want the government to now put the blame of aborting the electoral process at the doorstep of Nigeria Labour Congress. But having said that, there is a limit to what Nigerians, to what human, there is a limitation to what human can take. And we are already at the edge of that limitation. We can no longer stop this heat again. We can no longer take it again. Take it or leave it. So many people have died for this process. So many Nigerians have been disenfranchised. So many wives have already divorced their husbands. So many children are already, having no respect or regard for their parents again for this situation.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a situation that we never pay for. So it is based on this that Nigeria Labour Congress came out from their meeting of...
Now this is, I'd like to come in here, madam. I'd like to, let's talk about the Nigerian Labour Congress. I'm happy you acknowledge the hardship the Nigerians have gone through, and you also appreciate their patience in allowing the electoral process to play through. But some Nigerians are saying, look, the Supreme Court has decided, the central bank has given the directive that the old notes still remain legal tender. So why now? Why didn't the Nigerian Labour Congress speak for Nigerian workers when this was biting in the height of this? Why is it coming up now with the threat of a potential strike?
Well, you know that the 7 days ultimatum that the Nigeria Labour Congress has given will lapse after the last electoral process. We want the whole electoral process to go on without any interference. We don't want this government to continue in office. We don't want them to stay a day longer. We don't want to help them to elongate their tenure in the office. That is why Nigeria Labour Congress has, taken that restraint. If anybody is blaming Nigeria Labour Congress, let me tell Nigerians that people should not at all times be blaming Nigeria Labour Congress. Is there any little thing or challenges they will start blaming? Nigeria Labour Congress is for the workers. We are, by extension, we are just doing our social responsibilities to ensure that Nigerians are having a fair deal. But having said that, there are some situations that we also study. You understand? And we cannot abort this electoral process midway. That is why Nigeria Labour Congress has said, okay, let us conclude this electoral process before, and since the Supreme Court has already passed a judgment, how can a central bank that's supposed to respect the Supreme Court judgment? We were following up on the governors of some states and also some people that took the central bank and the federal government to court on this process. We are also alluding to the fact that we should have a peaceful transition. We don't want a process where they will lay a blame. You know, Nigerians, they are quick in passing blame.
True. Or looking for a scapegoat.
We don't want to be judged wrongly. We want to be judged rightly. So what we have done, no Nigerian should pass any blame on NLC in any way, because we did not want this process to be truncated. If we have done anything in between this period, when the electoral process has not been concluded, Nigerians will judge us. They will say it's NLC. NLC truncated it. So, the 7 days ultimatum we have given, it will last after the last electoral process. And by then, that means that we've already concluded, we've already known all those to take over.
Thank you very much, Madam, for clarifying the NLC's position on that. And I believe it was the responsible thing to do to allow the electoral process play out. Now, labor rights and workers' safety have been a major concern in Nigeria for many years. There have been reports of exploitation, abuse, unsafe working conditions, poor remunerations. What steps is the NLC taking to address these issues, the plight of the Nigerian worker, and what support or assistance can workers expect from the union in the future?
Well, thank you very much. With this, the electoral process that is going on, and with this new leadership that are coming on board, Nigerian process was quick in making our own demand. There is workers' demand that was passed on to candidates of various political parties, most especially the major gladiators and aspirants. We have passed on the charter of demand from the workers, you understand, to all the aspirants. And we will not shy away from taking it up with any of those aspirants, most especially the president-elect. I am so sure he spoke with us during the campaign. He spoke with the labor, the leadership of the labor. And the charter of demand from the workers was presented to the president-elect and to other aspirants. And I believe that they want to show the line of peace. They also want to look at issues. And I want to urge the president-elect to look into the charter of demands of the workers, to look into all the critical areas where the workers are being shortchanged, most especially in Nigeria. He has promised Nigerians the dividend of democracy. He has also promised to do the best. So I will be waiting, I will be watching. So,
now, Madam, Nigeria is one of the largest and most populous countries in Africa. It has a young and dynamic workforce. There's also problems of unemployment out there. So what opportunities and challenges does this present for labor unions and workers in the country? And also, what should be the focus of the new incoming government in addressing the plight of Nigerian workers? I know you did touch a bit on that in your last answer.
Please, can you come up with the question again, please? Let me understand the question.
Yes, I said, what should be the focus of the new incoming government in addressing the plight of Nigerian workers? Because Nigeria has a very large youthful population. We're the most populous country in Africa with a young and dynamic workforce. What opportunities and challenges does this present for labor unions? And what should the new incoming government do in addressing the plight of Nigerian workers? What should be their area of focus?
Okay, thank you so much. You know, you cannot grab the hair of someone in somebody's absence. We are just thinking and we are praying that this government will set up quickly those who will help them to achieve positive vibes from all the sectors and every angle. We are just saying that the Minister of Labour should be someone that is very vast in experience and knowledge of how the workings of labour is, most especially in Nigeria. So with someone who is well experienced and who we also is very vast in knowledge about issues and concerns of labour, definitely it won't just be business as usual for the president, and it will be an issue for president to understand and know how to resolve issues. And it's going to be an advice to the president-elect to ensure that they select the round peg in the round square hole, so that at this time we will get it right, not wrongly.
Now, Madam, the Labour Congress does have some critics that accuse the Nigerian Labour Congress of being too confrontational and disruptive and using strikes and other forms of protest as a first resort rather than a last resort. What's your response to this criticism, and how do you see the role of Labour evolving in the future?
Well, Nigerians have to also, when they are criticizing Nigeria Labour Congress, they don't really need to condemn our actions most of the time, because madness begets madness, and respect begets respect. So if the government respects the sanctity and also the workers' rights and privileges, definitely you won't see workers being on the street. We don't enjoy coming out on the street demonstrating. We also want to be in our offices enjoying the cool AC and working under a very great condition.
And I believe the NLC also gives ultimatums and warning strikes before embarking on strikes.
Do we really need to start giving ultimatum? Do we need to give ultimatum? This 7 days ultimatum that we have given to the federal government is even long overdue. But I just told you that the processes that we did not want to truncate, or we did not want to help, so that the blame will not be put at the doorstep of Nigeria Labour Congress for truncating an electoral process, a peaceful one in Nigeria. That was not as well to delay our ultimatum that we have given to the government. So that 7 days ultimatum that we have given to the government, I think the government has seen the signal that Nigerians are already tired, and we are becoming irritated for all that is happening now. Because immediately that 7 days ultimatum was issued, we could see that the central bank governor came out to say that now the old note should now be a legal tender in Nigeria. So what has he been waiting for? Even after the Supreme Court judgment, that this should continue, we should continue spending it until December, not until the ultimatum that Nigeria Labour Congress gave, that within 7 days, you could see the rate at which the central bank issued their own statement to confirm and to also agree to Nigerians spending and making the old notes a legal tender. But for all that we have witnessed in Nigeria, for all that is happening, we say never again will this or should this happen to us in this country again. So we're also going to...
Now finally, Madam Agnes Sessi, before I let you go, what message do you have for workers and ordinary Nigerians who may be facing and have faced economic hardship and uncertainty at this time, and how can they get involved and contribute to the efforts of the Nigerian Labour Congress and other organizations to improve working conditions and their livelihoods?
Okay, thank you very much. Nigeria Labour Congress has drafted so many, we've listed ways and things in which not only the workers, but Nigerians can enjoy and benefit from the government. At all times, we want to implore the government to put Nigeria Labour Congress into confidence, and also in whatever that they want to do. We also want to be represented. If Nigerian government wants to build houses for Nigeria, there should be a committee. And in that committee, the workers' representatives should also be represented. We should be there. Our voices should count. Now that our vote, they say, is counting, let our voices also count. Let Nigerians be represented. We don't want our government to bring about policies on our behalf. We want every policies and every step the Nigerian government wants to take. We want the people to also be represented. We want our voices to matter. We want all the policies that they want to take. We want not only that those who are representing us at the National Assembly, both at the upper and the lower chamber, but we want an ordinary or common man on the street to their voices to also count and to matter. So Nigerian Labour Congress should be to the government a partner in progress. They should not look at Nigerian Labour Congress or the Labour Center as being an enemy. It is only when we are involved in economic reasoning, in every advancement that they also want to do for Nigerians. That is when we can also offer our own. You know, we have the technocrats, we have the experts, we have professionals working and being members of the Labour Centers, Nigeria Labour Congress and CUC. So it is when they ask for all, and that is when we can offer all these professional advices. And also, the government should also take us into consideration by ensuring that the workers are being given their own space to improve on what we have in the country right now.
Very much, Madam Agnes Sessi, for your time. I do appreciate your contribution and insights, and our best wishes to the Nigerian Labour Congress. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.